Hello there, YouTube. This is Sibbles and Bits back at it again with another Inkbound daily. Today is the solo daily for November 12th, and today we will be playing Chainbreaker, going from Vengewood to... jeez. I forgot the second one. I believe it's Derelict Starship. And then up against Runestone. Now, we have Devilish in play, which just means that we get a lot of sets early. -1 to will reserve does affect us quite a bit. It means that we can't Runic Strike ×3 into whatever this one is, Eruption, and on getting an orb gain 2 shield. That's definitely appreciated. We have Marker of the Unbound. If we manage to somehow take blight damage, we can possibly increase our Omni damage. I don't think that it's worth it, and it's relatively rare by itself. So I don't know about that. Let's go ahead and look at our potions. We have Mercurial. That's kind of nice. What is our Tarnished Bolt? We got Bramble Dolos and Braced Belt. So we get an additional 5 shield plus 1 shielding due to Bastion, and we inflict some free bleed on enemies. It's okay. Like, certainly one of the things of all time. Really not liking any of these, but, you know, that's just typical Chainbreaker greens. If anything of these, I'd like to grab Physical Runic Strike, but also maybe giving Virulent Fist a chance. Giving it a chance might be a good idea. I don't know. We'll give it a chance. Why not? And honestly, we're going to have... Nah, let's take this. I was almost debating against that simply because we're going to have so many friggin' things anyways. We might as well get these sets as early as possible. Looking good. Problem is that it doesn't deal enough damage. So what is that? You're going to take 50. This will reduce you down to 180. Still not quite enough. It's a little rough. I'm really trying to figure out how we can do this, but I just don't think that it's possible. It would have to be Infused Fist. The other thing is, too, is that on this character, we can't use a movement skill in order to proc Marker of the Unbound. So it's it's incredibly problematic. I think we honestly just... If I can get this too, thank you. I think we're honestly just going to hit this. Grab this Power Orb. Flop one of you guys. And this is kind of a new problem we have here. Should be fine now. Okay. We at least got a turn 2. I think pretty much everyone's going to get stuck with that, because again, there's not really much choices that we could have made to change that. Like, technically, we could have taken the 40 damage on Physical Runic Strike. Maybe could have gotten a crit off it. Crits would have made a big deal. Like, if you get a crit on Eruption, that just pretty much solves that whole thing. But we could have helped one-shot a couple of things with Runic Strike if it did 40 extra physical. Anyways, what's up here? So we got some stuff here. We have a couple of ambushers. We have a couple of eviscerator. In fact, we get some bonus bleed damage here, inflicting 10 bleed to the nearest enemy. Eviscerator, due to the fact that it's global damage taken and not binding damage dealt, means that it actually buffs its own damage. Like bleed is increased by plus 30% when we have it. I think that that's pretty good. I would almost actually be willing to take Cleave in this setup right now just because of that. If we can get Expert Binder, reduce the cost, we could really start getting something out of that. Verdant is also pretty nice. We probably want Verdant as soon as possible. Of course, nothing really that we can do about that here. Cultivate. Cultivate is interesting. Cultivate allows us to punch more often. Like, that's about it. We obviously get the really roided interaction of if we get both the purple Augs, reduce cost of physical, reduce cost of magical. That reduces our core bindings by 2. And that can be pretty damn powerful. Is it, like, exceptionally good? Probably not, actually. I don't know. I was kind of loving the idea of bleeding. The problem is that without Cleave, bleeding enemies outside of Godkeeper like practically doesn't exist. It's Bramble, Dolos, or I know there's another thing that bleeds, but it's really not even worth looking at. Most of it is, hey, someone's bleeding, you got this benefit. So without Bramble, Dolos, or without Cleave, it's all useless. Maybe that means that we actually ignore Eviscerator and we just grind these guys up right now, but right now it's helping us get some damage, so I don't think that we like technically completely ignore it. The question is do we go for Cultivate, which we know is adequate to good, depending on where we put our purples. I, again, am not very familiar with these augments here to know, do we honestly want to put purples in here? No clue. We're going to reroll. This is neither of those things. I think we could do Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt should be fine. We could shock something and then hit it for a ton of damage. Like, Infused Fist can get to a crap ton of damage. Otherwise, like, the rest of this is looking... You know what? I'm willing to roll again. Poison Vapor's at least something. We got some Venomous going here. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the kit, but we did also take Infused Fist. There is a lot of poison in Chainbreaker kit. We'll take it. It's something. So now we just got to remember that we have to find a way to get more glyphs at some point here. I do like a Binding Empowerment with our current skills. I would love wider AoE, inflict 5 stacks of poison. Increased teleport range is actually probably the most useful thing that we can grab here. Like, that saves us a lot of movement. And plus 5 stacks of poison isn't even a good AUG. Like, that's 1/6 of the normal stacks of poison. Like, technically, due to the half-life, it adds a little bit more. It's nowhere even close to like 25 or 50%, which is what a normal green is worth. And it's not adding any utility. I'll take the long-range Runic Strike. That was honestly kind of a bust. It's a little spooky up there. That's doing pretty good. Okay. Leave that for next turn. You do want to spend one of these. It's probably actually this guy, and it might be right now. Nah, that'd be a waste. We'll wait until next turn before we use that. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's There we go. All right. Well, I'll do it. No reason not to, really. These are kind of Terra bad. I'm willing to re-roll. This is even more Terra bad. There was a notable interaction with Restoration. Restoration allows us to actually use Mobius Vine, which would give us poison damage. That would have probably have been the best one out of all three of these. But now we're kind of stuck with what we got. I think After Image, maybe? I'm not sure that you have good crit augs at all. The blur is notable. But only just. I don't know. I don't friggin' know. Target gains precise. Interesting. Do we honestly want to just keep stacking Virulent Fists? Maybe. Reducing the cooldown of Poison Vapor seems like a great idea. What do we got here? We probably should have opened... Never mind, there wasn't a grinder up here. Whittling Mitts, absolutely not. Decayed Binding, sure. We almost have Ambusher. Where are my grinders? Do I want a green Aug? Potentially. Take a Sea Breach, see what happens. Duplicate a Vestige. We really don't have much for any of this. This is going to take a lot of our points. Duplicating a Vestige doesn't seem very delicious, like in any sense of the word. We could duplicate a Poison Thorn. That also gets us Verdant. And then we could eventually, like, liquidate one of them. We could give ourselves a Ambusher set. Plus 10 max HP isn't anything to scoff at either. That might be the best move here. It's just hard to say no to a Legendary Vestige. That can give you such a good idea of where you're going with your run this early. Only one problem, though. We have to actually out-heal it. We were given access to Sap. We were given access to Restoration. Those are ways to go about that. But I honestly just think... Give me 10 max HP. There's a Glyph Globe there. There's gonna be... Yeah, I think I'm willing to take an early Glyph Globe here. Like, we already don't have Cleave. Okay. Still trying to figure out how we're going to beat Lusk. Because what we got, it ain't it. Seems pretty good. I think we desperately need a good eruption, but in order for us to actually use that next turn, we need to not use our combo this turn, which is a bit spooky. Might as well bop you and take this. Everyone's all lined up. This is perfect. Would we rather hit twice? I think we would. This is critting, though. Everything's looking great, except for the damage that you're taking up there. And even though you're lit up, you were lit up before, you're showing that you're not taking damage, unless we go all the way over here. Can we only show so many? I certainly hope that's not the case, because we're about to go all in here. We're just making sure that we have no other benefits that we'd want to do something else. Okay. You were even hit by the poison. What happened there? How come we always get bopped by bugs? Just a question. I don't know how... Like, I guess we could have poison vapored, mercurial poison vapored. That actually would have done it. Yeah, that would have done it. But otherwise, we're going to take a turn deficit here because apparently... Like, where does this say that it can only hit 6 targets? It doesn't, and that's my issue. Well, I mean, there's really nothing else to do here. That's upsetting. I don't like any of these. Give me my glyph globe. Open up this vesticle shrine. Let's take a look at the shop. Unstable circuitry is kind of fun. We don't really gain shield though. Maybe it's burning heart? We don't have ignite. Never mind. I'm thinking the other one. We didn't take incendiary. Otherwise, that's a pretty good set. DR and Molten, plus we already have some shielding. This gives you shielding. We have after image for blur. That's a pretty tanky setup. I think it might have to be unstable circuitry. Don't really like that at all. Do we re-roll here? Maybe. Go ahead, we'll re-roll here. There's Trader's Dagger. That's pretty good. That's pretty dang good. Where are we at with Ambushers at 2? We can bring Eviscerator up by buying this as well. That'd be 100. Honestly, do we just take withered tracks to grind it? I don't think that that's the case. I feel like not getting Eviscerator is a bad move here. Maybe we double grind Ink Flat for the CDR. Like, Trader's Dagger is just so difficult because you actually need the ability to physically crit before it starts working, but you also want it when you start critting. I don't know, man. Maybe it's honestly just grinding braced belts that we get another shield a turn. It doesn't really feel like that's the answer, but it's probably the answer. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Doesn't really do much for us either way because it doesn't count as an ambusher for some reason. We want Trader's Dagger. Do we just drop Ink Flat? Not sure about that. Like, Decayed Binding is so hard to get rid of. Oh, man. There we go. We got Eviscerator 3. The enemy that's closest to us, which we need to try and make sure is the boss, is going to get 15 bleed for an inordinate amount of damage. There's really no way for me to tell where Lusk is. Stay here, please. You son of a... Come on! Okay. I can hit you here. Grab this orb. Bop you. Bop you. I guess it's better to actually push you into things so that you take poison damage. You're taking some poison damage right now. I'm gonna go ahead with something like that. We can't really hit you, okay. Do that, that adds a lot of poison. This is terrible. At least we got the bleed on him. We should be able to get you this turn. Not a lot of work that needs to be done. We just need to figure out how we're actually going to block all this incoming damage. There we go. That does phase you. No way that you're going to be the closest unit to us, though. Oh my god, it worked. Never mind. I'm a fool, apparently. One. This is a lot of incoming damage, I'll tell you that. We're going to hit this. Hit this again. then we honestly probably need to just do damage to you. Guess we can also hit that in order to inflict a lot of poison on Lusk. That's actually not going to hit this. It's not going to give us a victory here. There we go. And we're going to take some damage again. That doesn't matter versus bosses. So that's one extra turn. I'll take it for what little we have. You deal even more bonus damage to enemies with poison. Interesting. If the enemy is above max HP, inflict 25 poison. If it is below, then inflict additional damage. Interesting. I think debilitating poison is exactly what we're looking for here. This is... excuse me? Inflict toxic. Putrefy deals poison damage already. I'm willing to give it a try. Alright, I don't think we need all these Bramble Dolos. One of them is doing the work that we need it to. I think that we can get rid of this Poison Thorn, maybe? I don't know. And I'd really like to get rid of Future Willer and Decayed Binding, but we kind of need them. We'll get rid of Decayed Binding. Future Willer is probably still very well mandatory here. Oh boy. So I need a good chest. Elusive Whisper is another... there's our Verdant. Honestly, give me a Heroic Bolt. The rare augment is tempting. Probably should do that since our sets are Garbo. A green aug in order to increase our, what am I trying to say? Our AoE on this. Increased AoE would be huge. There we go. Yeah, there it is again. You can only hit like 6 people. That's so weird. It's also annoying that these slims have a life link. We've got to kill you on this turn. I don't know how we're going to do that. I have an idea. That was definitely not it. I'm going to take a lot of bonus turns here. I just don't know what our kit could possibly do to avoid all these extra turns. And I think this will solve most of that incoming damage. At least we lost no health. Extra turns 2, still pretty bad, honestly. Bottled Whirlwind gives us a... Doesn't that give us Blur each turn? Oh my goodness. Yes. Frostfire Ember, not worth it. Okay, reducing that cooldown is also pretty big for us. Should we go to the lab? Like, the odd lack of grinders in this game is pretty ridiculous. Alright. Death Scythe would give us Vigorous. It's an idea. Heavenly Eclipse is actually like incredibly disgusting on us. I need to figure out how to fit this in here. I think it takes the place of Rosy Thorn, which makes us lose Verdant. I think it's gotta happen though. Maybe it's Future Willer just to finally rip off that band-aid. I could maybe see that. If we double grind Elusive Whisper, or even Future Willer, yeah, let's... I don't like it. Let's get our rare augment over money. We should be just fine as far as cash is concerned. Give me a potion of power. That's a Thunelope. Okay. Might as well try to farm this a little bit if we can. Guess we can stand in this too. God, we just do no damage, do we? Not necessarily. And unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that we can do about these slimps. We're gonna miss it by just a bit. Another extra turn. 1 cost discount. Certainly it makes this easier to use. It's another poison applicator. Okay, we'll give it a shot. I don't think any of these are appetizing for us. There's really no frickin' grinders at all, is there? We can re-roll this if we want. I think we do. It's not bad. Like, we literally found 1 grinder this whole run, haven't we? Besides, obviously, the free one at the end of the bosses and stuff like that. That's kind of a problem, dude. Why do you gotta be like this? I guess we'll blur. So that is perf. Pick up this orb. Yes. What am I taking this much damage for? Oh, because I don't... I should have blur. I have 4 blur. Oh, that's already counting everything that you guys have been reduced by. No. Oh, we're fine, actually. Might as well start up on you. That almost kills. There we go. Inflicting sap on the primary target seems a little bit good right now. Probably not necessary though. I mean, what else are we going to do? Put some crit on Runic Strike? Actually seems decent. Just for the critical chance that we apply more poison. Hammer of the Broken Rail requires crits in order to work. However, it might be the best thing we got. Also has some precision in there, thank goodness. We can grind. We already opened this up, though. Get rid of Elusive Whisper. There's really no point in having this Future Willer if we have nothing else for it. So I guess we grind this. Oh, we don't grind it. This is starting to look decent. We need to see if we can potentially afford to buy something that gives us precision. That'd be pretty big for us right now. Miser's Purse? Not really a lot of game left. That would leave us at 400. We would beat the boss, get 20% more Quillings. We don't have any Fabled. Amulet of Transfloral? Like, actually might be the ticket. With the amount of blur that we have available, we have, like, what is it? 3 per turn, plus shielding now, plus not really a lot of DR. This also heals us a little bit. So do we grind something like Ringleader's Hat? And keep Amulet? I think that could be the answer. And if we actually keep the Slimps alive here and purposely overguard them with Phasing Image, we get to see if this stacks. If it stacks, it's going to get ludicrous. If it doesn't stack, then we're going to be sad. I mean, probably either way, we're going to be sad. Hit you with that. 2. Pick that up. 3. Knock you into that. We're going to take 1 hit of no damage. Guess we might as well take this. It looks like it's supposed to stack. Your next attack binding, which means that this shouldn't offset it. Okay. That's still kind of garbage. Now my next attack binding does double damage times 5. Yeah, it's looking like that's working. Okay. So the trick is to actually keep the Slimps alive. Oh no. Okay. Well, let's go for it. We still block the Slimps. Let's go ahead and punch you a couple times then, I guess. Is this gonna... We'll do that then. More Amulet of Floral. Much appreciated. You're not poisoned though, so it's currently not like fantastic. Let's go ahead, take this, hit you with some poison. Really don't want to kill your friends, but I want you to have poison on. Okay, I guess we do have some kind of damage going on here. It's just not sufficient. Because if we get all three of these guys to attack us, then that'll give us times 2, times 4, times 8 damage. Which is still not enough. There we go. You're done. I think we only lost one turn there. 0 turns. Okay. Yeah, we were doing much better than I thought. What's in the loot box? Dope. Okay, these are all pretty interesting. I like ending Runic Strike, especially if... Apparently not. Up to bonus damage depending on how far the teleport range is. Okay. You gain 1 poison damage for the rest of combat. Which seems more our speed. So we'll take that. We'll play around with this. Because actually, if we can get a ton of combo, purposely block a lot of attacks, which is going to be hard during the Runestone fight, there's actually a lot of high damage attacks there. So maybe that makes Discounted Image the better skill. If we could find some way to reduce our cooldowns and just keep hitting Phased Image, then we could just block everything, which then, I don't know. We like have a little bit of everything required, just not enough for this. So we're probably going to play around with ending Runic Strike because it seems the most fun. Especially if we had the Runic Strike that was deal double damage for each combo you have. Then you're getting plus stacks of just raw damage due to Runic Strike. Unending Runic Strike. Then you get a ton of combo and then that's doubling up. If we also add in the double damage from Amulet of Transportal. That'd be a lot of damage, my dudes. I almost think that Bramble Dolos isn't doing anything for us, but again, no point grinding now. Kind of annoying, not gonna lie. We don't want to double this. There's actually a lot of stuff we'd prefer not to double here. That actually looks pretty decent. We're not taking any damage here, that's preferred. I don't think we make it out of this without taking a turn deficit. And these are on cooldown, so I can't, like, give myself blur. Okay. We're gonna take some damage. Ain't much we can do about that. I'm gonna heal a little bit at the end of this, so we got that going for us at least, question mark. I guess open this up. What does this look like? Garbage. If you guys would actually stand together, that'd be great. Just an FYI. They don't seem to like to do that, though, and I don't think that this is going to hit, so we're just going to bop you. That's 2 extra turns. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We're keeping Trader's Dagger. We're going to keep this. Stone Pitch Pipe, interesting, but we're probably going to get rid of it anyways. Sovereign's Flag, we don't really daze things. I don't know. Yeah, we might as well grind it. So all this stuff is getting ground up. I don't even think that actually gave us any sets. Okay. That's how it is. We gained absolutely nothing from that. That's terrible. Guess increasing poison to colliding enemies, maybe. This is a lot of poison, but we really didn't get anything. If we would have gotten Venomous 3, that would have been something. I honestly think that Phasing Image is probably the best thing that we got here for our turn order. And we can't afford any of this, but just to look at it, there's an All-Will's Bard there that would also improve our Orb Collector. Or sorry, Will Collector. And then there was a Smite build in here somewhere. Here's Tempest Wrath, there's Forged Lightning Bolts. We had, what was it, Unstable a little earlier. And then if we just figured out ways to gain shielding, like at the start of turn, we also ended up with Hammer of the Broken Rail. So you easily could have had a pretty chunky Smite build in there as well. Now we're in a Runestone fight that we can't lose any health in. Well, we can lose 3 health. That is unfortunate. Like, you're not even coming down here. And that can pretty much just be up to the fact that we don't have Venomous 3. Like, not even that extra poison damage, just that extra bonus damage versus enemies with poison. Well, what are you going to do? Cry? Could definitely cry. Now we have an Amulet of Floral, which is kind of nice. I think we honestly just punch you and walk out. There's really no reason to be here. We can at least hit you guys with one of these. Get some poison damage out there. We're not going to be anywhere near where we want to be for, like, aiming the fists. This might work, though. And I want to leave that orb there for next turn. And probably hit you one. Oh, this guy's in the way. Otherwise that would have worked. You're gonna phase anyways. Let's just get the heck out of here. Gives us a ton of combo to use. We want to take damage. If we don't take any of it, if we don't take damage, we want it. We have one combo. Should be fine. Hit that. Pick up the power orb. Hit this. Might as well also hit this. 1, 2, 3 punches. Yeah. That's kind of annoying. Okay, it's not even gonna kill ya. At least we get that going for us. It's still within our damage threshold because of Verdant. Oh, at least that final fight really came together. I think that I'm trying to wonder if there was a way for us to be pretty good against that elite fight, because that elite fight was a whole bunch of spears. That probably was a shock route, or possibly even a burn route. Burn route would have been able to really spam something like Incendiary because of Chainbreaker, negative CDR. They did give us quite a couple of burn sets. Probably investing into... Well, I can't say that the Eviscerator set didn't do nothing, because it gave us a 30% like damage multiplier that we otherwise wouldn't have gotten. Otherwise, I guess thankfully we didn't reroll too hard into trying to get cleave. Like, we definitely had to take a glyph binding node or a glyph node because of the fact that we rerolled so much. If I had to change anything, it would have been to not go there, but I don't know. It still would have looked appetizing to go for cleave. The only reason why I wouldn't is because I knew that cleave didn't exist, which completely invalidates the whole idea of doing a daily, in my opinion. So it was unfortunate. We lost a lot of turns. Would have been nice if we wouldn't have lost a lot of turns, but then again, probably going into this janky poison setup wasn't really the best idea. At least it doesn't feel like it did. If we would have went into something like, say, Ambusher, obviously it would have been a lot different. But again, not getting any Vesticle Shrines was super weird. Usually you get like 2 a book. And we only got like the ones at the end of each book, which is like pretty much guaranteed. And it's not like both of the books we went to had NPCs that would block it, because Vengewood doesn't have one. Anyways. Yeah, that's certainly interesting. Hopefully, the run was at least educational or entertaining for you guys. If you have any feedback whatsoever, be it questions, comments, concerns, misplay alerts, be sure to put that down in the comments below. And until next time, I will catch you guys around.